Hey, good evening, guys. Good evening, everybody. This is Oti Cesar, and welcome to our live number two. Okay, so we have zero views back, and now we have. Ayan, so right now we're going live before our event on Monday. We have behavior management by a black sheep March 28 to 31 tayo magsasama. 7:30 will be our usual schedule, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. And then for everybody who registered, we only opened it kasi for 24 hours, so we got a lot of messages talaga asking for it to be opened. So don't worry, we will open another 2 slots tonight. I-open natin again po yung form for the behavior management seminar just to accommodate po yung mga hindi naka-sign up nung first 24 hours natin na open. So I'm so happy din. We didn't expect the responses kasi yun nga, we got to open and close it lang around 27 hours, and it was more than 500. And para dun sa nag-register na po, we're gonna email you tomorrow morning. We had some trouble lang kasi we had to upgrade the room because yun nga, we didn't expect that many registrations. So we had to upgrade the room, and then we're gonna change pa the meeting room, we're gonna change the email, but you're gonna receive them po tomorrow with all the instructions para you'll be ready by Monday night. Ayan, yes. And we'll be together for 4 nights straight. And we're gonna talk all about behavior next week. Ayan. Hello, May, and hello, Ses. And good evening to everybody who's watching. So, ayan. So for tonight, we're still gonna have the same format that we did in our first live, and that will be the 3-2-1 grow format natin. We're gonna have 3 questions, 2 toys, and we're going to talk about 1 lesson at the end. Ayan siya. So, hope nakakain na kayo. You had your dinner. If wala pa, just eat your dinner with me. And if you have any questions, just type them down sa comments natin. Ayan. If you're watching sa Facebook page natin, hello. And if you're also on YouTube, hello din. Okay. Sige, guys. So, again, 3-2-1 grow, and we're gonna start with 3 questions. From last time, we had so many questions while we're discussing, so we're gonna leave lang answering the additional questions at the end of every question and at the end of every toy mamaya. Okay, and we're going to end with a lesson together. Hello, Ma'am Regina, it's you again. Yes, welcome to our live. Ayan, so right now, we'll go straight away to the 3 questions. Ayan. Three questions, 2 toys, and 1 lesson. And here is the first question for tonight. Hi, please use the person first approach instead of autistic child. In ECE, we learned that people should use child with autism instead. We see and view the child as person first instead of disability first. This is one way that we can lobby and advocate for a progressive, inclusive society. Thank you. So this is coming from a post that we had, I think, a year ago, and then dito din niya sinend right after I had the post. And we had a discussion rin about this in the inbox. Pero I figured we can already talk about this one sa live natin so that we can address this question altogether. So yung main question niya is using autistic child versus child with autism. Now, being an occupational therapist, so I don't have a family member or anyone who has autism na close to me, but marami sa clients ko that I work with have autism. So sila yung majority din sa population that I work with. So common for me to write documents, have reports which involve autistic children or children with autism. So the question is, which one is more correct? Okay, saan yung mas appropriate for this? Now, yung sabi niya kanina is that child with autism is more appropriate because it's person first language. Okay, so again, yung child with autism is person first language. because similar to when we talk about people with conditions sa medical field, where occupational therapy belongs, na trained din kami, we were also told na dapat when we deal with clients, we have to say person first before the disability. So we can say person with depression or person with cancer, a man with dementia, a woman with depression. So yun yung mangyayari kasi nga you want the individual to be completely separate from their condition, okay, from their diagnosis. Now, that's also where the child with autism comes from. 'Di ba yung sa law natin for PWDs, we started with the Magna Carta for disabled persons. So disabled pa yung term na ginamit din even in the law. But we had the amendment na and we used na the term person with disability, which is what we hear and what we see and read na PWD, 'di ba? Person with disability. Kasi nga separate si person from the disability. Now, saan pumapasok yung term na autistic child? Okay, so yung autistic child. Now, there are groups of people with disabilities na mas preferred nila yung tinatawag nating identity first language. Okay, kasi kanina it's person first language, di ba? So person first language yun. Yung i-compare natin with it is identity first language. Now, people with autism, particularly the adults with autism, okay, so tawag natin autistic adults, they prefer the term na autistic kesa sa person with autism. And the reason that they give is that yung pagiging autism daw is not something that they want to separate from who they are as a person. Okay, so parang ganun yung reasoning behind it. So they see autism as something na ayaw nilang i-treat, ayaw nilang mawala from them. So in comparison to, for example, a person with depression, of course, you don't want depression to define you or be your main parang identity, di ba? So ayaw mo yung depressed person because you want the depression to be cured, you want it to go away. Or person with cancer, di ba? So gusto mo siya i-separate because you don't want cancer to be your main identity, parang ganyan. Pero with autism, ayun siya, merong groups, adults na nag-advocate na gamitin yung autistic kasi nga it's something na part of who they are, and you can read more about it sa Twitter. You can search for #actuallyautistic, so just so you can hear yung perspectives talaga ng people na may autism, or you can also read more about the neurodivergent model, okay, a neurodivergent movement. Now, si neurodivergent movement, that's why it's a movement because kinokontra nila yung view na disabilities, some disabilities or conditions, okay, now we see as problems. Okay, tinitignan nila as parang different way lang na make up sa brain ng person. Okay, so kaya siya neurodivergent. It's not the neurotypical, it's divergent, it's different. Pero they're still, paano ba? That's part of who they are. Hindi siya kailangan tignan as a problem right away or parang hindi siya kailangan tanggalin. So doon nanggagaling yung perspective na yun. Okay? Sige, so for me, as a professional, depende siya sa context kung kailan and saan ako nakikipag-usap. Like for this one, I'm dealing with people na marami tayo sa group, di ba? We have parents, we have people, we have autistic people, we have professionals as well. So there are times na ginagamit ko si person with autism or child with autism if I deal more with professionals kasi yun yung mas appropriate na ginagamit or yun yung mas familiar for us. Pero with groups, na merong autistics, I also use autistic child. So that's why I end up sometimes parang minimix up ko siya. And then, kapag mix naman na population, for example, I speak in an event with people na may autistics and professionals and a mix of parents na rin, I go with autistic kasi nga, sila naman yung main focus natin, di ba? So I lean towards what they think and what they believe in kasi sila naman yung sinaserve natin. So that's why yun yung mas ginagamit ko if ganun ka diverse yung group na kausap ko. So ayun siya. So looking at the question, siguro, I think ang ina-avoid lang siguro with autistic is that especially sa Philippines, minsan ginagamit siya as a term to parang as an insult. So that's a factor din. Tignan mo lang, ang mas important siguro is how a person uses the term and the context where it is being used. So, Yun lang siya. And then, since we know this perspective na and we know this explanation, we can be more informed na, and we can also, ito yung perspective ko, I'm giving it to you. So if you have somebody who's asking this question, you can also share that same information to them. So ayan siya. So mas important lang na you ask the person, okay, kung ano yung mas preferred niya, kung ano yung mas comfortable sila na pakinggan or gusto nilang gamitin in reports, in documents, or with the conversation. So ayan siya. Okay, para lang mas bale, ask lang muna and then you can adapt na the term that you're gonna use. So ayan siya. And in general, hopefully we move na away from, parang I hope people see beyond these terms, yung terminologies, and we focus more on the supports then that we can actually give autistic people. So yung in terms of sa school, I know important yung language and the way that we use terminologies, but also we moved in towards the supports, the policies, the laws na pwede pang mas mag-support sa kanila, and programs kung saan matutulungan pa sila lalo. Ayan siya. Okay, and that's the end of question number 1. So, hello, Janine. Hello, Patricia. Good evening. Si Johan Quer. Si Pauline Seno. Agree. Thumbs up. And si Ma'am Serna. Leah Angela. Ayan. Okay, so since we're finished with one question, we'll have this question muna before we go to the second one. I'm a public sped teacher. Hello, Teacher Casey. How to apply simple techniques na magagamit po namin, especially children na di po maka-afford ng parents. Or I think di maka-afford ng siguro to, tama ma'am? Therapy. Yes, kasi kung pwede lang ma-afford yung parents, bibili tayo ng parents. Ayun siya. Sige, so di maka-afford ng therapy. It's different po in a school setting and a therapy setting. And I know din merong strategies na SPED teachers would think na medyo mahirap talaga i-apply, and we completely understand that kasi syempre ibang context yung one-on-one versus yung group na kids, di ba? So may difficulty na handling one-on-one na kids, lalo na if you're handling a group. And of course, since you're going to use parang pace ng child, magbabago talaga even the activity level pa lang. So yun yung wait, I'll close na yung slide. Ayan siya. And so yes, na typo down. Yes, thank you, ma'am. And so yun yung difference siguro with the teacher setup, and I know it's different. You have to adapt a lot talaga from the lesson to the strategies din na binibigay ng mga therapist. Kailangan i-adjust. Pero when it comes po to techniques na pwedeng magamit po ng teachers in school, I would go first. Ang ni-recommend ko would be group activities, yung entire class, na regardless of the activity or regardless of the diagnosis ng children, and also yung parang mga target mo sa kanila. Naglalag ba ako? You would prefer activities po na nagsa-start muna at a group level, and majority of their goals would be targeted, and a lot of that sometimes falls into yung mga dances, movement breaks, and also yung lahat talaga sabay-sabay para para walang hindi madali makatch ng children na sila yung tina-target mo. Does that make sense? Kasi madalas sa mga strategies when we give it to the teachers, ang ayaw din natin mangyari is that maramdaman ng kid na may iba kang ginagawa sa kanya, kasi mapapansin niya yun and mapapansin din yun ng class. Okay, so dun sometimes manonotice sila na, oh, there are differences, parang bakit may parang special treatment for this kid or ganyan. So, ang mangyayari, you start first muna with group level interventions, and then kapag hindi pa rin mag-break, that's when you go down to the small group of kids, and later on with individual kids talaga. So yung sinabi ko kanina, dance, movement breaks, sensory breaks, you can have like everybody stand up, or yung simple following of instructions like mga Simon Says, or yung running exercises. Yun nagsiserve siya as prevention technique para lang yung mga sensory needs na nakukuha nila in the playground or yung movement before class, naproprovide mo na rin in class. I mean, naproprovide mo as a group. okay ng sabay-sabay. Lalo na kapag hindi nila afford po yung therapy, na isa siya sa ginagawa din namin to prepare the child for focus, for mga tabletop activities. Magsa-start talaga muna with big body movements. So, pag nakikita nyo po na may kid na parang kailangan to ng mas mahigin na attention or mas parang kailangan mo tutukan, okay na rin yun if you apply it to everyone in class para kahit yung ibang kids din na hindi ganun kataas yung needs, magbe-benefit pa rin from it. Now, that's part po of prevention and also to improve lang din yung participation. Number 2, in managing po with behaviors, I know we're gonna have a seminar this Monday, next week to talk about behavior. Pero iba din kasi siya with parent to child, also with teacher to child. For the same reason din na class yung tina-target ninyo. So, ang best practice na nakita ko po is that you can work with your kids na sabay when you talk about emotions, emotional regulation, and also yung sensory integration activities nila. So what you want is that instead of, alam natin, yung mga age, di ba, sanay tayo na parang pinapa-face the wall or parang labas ka classroom if misbehave or alis ka sa class or pinapagalitan, pina-point out, pina-call out talaga yung kid, ganyan. So, yung best practice na nakita ko for now is that there's really a dedicated parang calm down corner for children na instead of a punishment corner, everybody can use that corner. Okay, so in the calm down corner, if ang kid hirap siya mag-regulate or mag-focus or mag-control ng emotions niya, you can have this specific area kung saan anybody, hindi lang yung will show to them, oh, teacher says I'm angry, I have to go to the calm down corner. So ipapakita ko rin sa kanila how to use the calm down corner and how to calm myself down para hindi siya makita ng kids as a punishment. Okay, kasi di ba nakikita natin yung isolation or like you leave the group as a punishment, pero most kids really need it talaga para umatras muna, di ba? Atras muna from the challenges, from the frustration, or pwede from the stimulation kasi lalo na kapag maingay na in class or too challenging yung task or there's so much going on, so they can use that corner para mag-regulate muna before they go back to class. Okay, the important factor is that they don't see it as nag-stop. Hello? It stopped. Hello? Nakat. Hello? Yung mga nasa Facebook, nakikita niyo pa ba? Kasi it showed an error na nawala daw yung stream. Ang check lang po Facebook. Wait lang. I think it stopped sa Facebook. Was live. Oh no, how do I do this? Sorry. Hindi ko actually alam what to do. Should I go live again or how does this work?
What's live?
Okay. Wait lang. To end lang this part muna, I think we have to end broadcast and then go back on again. But anyway, to end, ang important lang po dun is that hindi makita ng kids yung calm down corner as a punishment. Yun lang siya yung pwede niyong gawin para mas ma-model po ninyo yung appropriate way of managing emotions and also yung pag-calm down ng sarili nila. It takes time, especially for younger kids, but of course, that's the goal naman po na ma-learn nila how to manage their frustrations. And that calm down corner serves as a refuge for them. Parang pampakalma and a strategy din for you to manage kids in a way na walang wala masyadong resistance or hindi siya ganun ka-discriminating. Ayan. Okay. Wait lang po. Wait lang tayo.